Welcome,
to the
welcome,
House of
welcome.
Bedlam.
Hey,
everybody.
hey everyone.
We're so
Welcome
happy
back.
that you guys join us again. Thank you for tuning in. This is actually story time, and we're going to get into how we first met. So, yeah.
Before we get started, don't forget, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, please always leave any, questions or any, ideas of videos or anything that you guys may want to hear from us. Please go ahead and do that. We would appreciate it. And again, Reba said here, this is story time, and I think you guys are pretty much going to enjoy this. We are going to be talking about the very first time, I guess, me and Reba met, and also the second time that me and Reba met, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off. So I'm going to let her start off, and then I'm going to be chiming in frequently when she's missing some parts. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to be missing any parts. So anyways, like I said, like he said, we met up twice. It was the first time we met, it was a Big 12 conference party. It was in Norman, Oklahoma. Like I said, I played basketball at Oklahoma State University, and he played football at Oklahoma University. So anyways, we met up at a Big 12 conference party. I seen him over there, and I was like, and he seen me, and
I saw her. I saw her. It ain't your beauty, it's your beauty.
Yes. So anyways, he came up, he approached me, we were like talking and everything, and he asked me where I was from. And I was from, I'm from Ardmore, Oklahoma. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, I want to get your number. And I was like, okay. He left, and he never came back. I waited like 20, 30 minutes for him to come back. He never came back. So that was the end of that.
Okay, so
yeah. So I don't know when he's going to tell you what happened, why he never came back to get my number.
So I'm not going to tell you why I never came back. I'm actually going to tell you what exactly happened. My version. She just gave her version. I'm going to give you my version of what happened. So, she's right. We met at a Big 12 conference. It was a conference that they have every year for more or less, the black students in the Big 12. And they all got together in various different states. Depending, and that state just happened to be Oklahoma that year. Of course, they had it in Kansas, Texas, anyway, throughout the Big 12, right? So, I'm feeling myself. We're at a party. I'm feeling myself. I'm a starter in Oklahoma, doing my thing, fresh off a national championship. So I see this Amazon woman, standing and actually dancing with a tube dress on. Oh yeah, fellas. She was in college. She was feeling herself too. I think she had braids, them long braids that Janet Jackson and all that stuff. So she was feeling herself. From what I remember, I had some little short skirt on, and I was like, oh my goodness, who is that? I have never seen her on campus before. I have to say something. And I'm really, honestly, I'm a shy person. I am relatively a shy person, but I was like, no, I got to talk to her. She is too fine for me not to say something to her. So, I go up to her, we start talking. I think she was with some of her girls, but then she, I kind of pulled her off to the side a little bit. Started talking to her. I was like, hey, my name, back and forth with pleasantries. Man, you look beautiful. What's your name? Where you're from. Told her where I was from. So she told me that she was from Ardmore. Wait a second. So backstory on that. I was actually dating a girl that was from Ardmore. So to be honest with you, I didn't want to be sloppy. She was at Oklahoma State. I was at Oklahoma. This young lady that I was dating at the time was in Norman. I'm in Norman. Convenient, right? So I wanted to make sure that, possibly they know each other. They were from the same city. So I actually, stopped talking to Reba for a split second. Said, hey, how you doing? Did all those things. And, I left. I told her I'll be right back. I left. and went to go speak to this other young lady who was from Ardmore that I was dating. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know Reba. Reba is my cousin. I was like, oh, really? Reba's your cousin? I was like, oh, can't do this. So what I did was I actually came back with this girl that I was dating and, you know, basically kind of rekindled because she was like, oh, that's my cousin. I was like, oh, for real? That's your cousin? Well, your cousin's over here. Brought her back. Her and Reba.
She just came to me.
No.
She came to me.
No, she didn't come to you. I was there too. I came with her and was like, oh, here's your cousin. It was like, oh, hey, Reba. So, you know, me being who I was at the time, I was like, oh, dang, they really are cousins because they acted like they knew each other. Which, did you guys know each other?
Yeah, we knew each other.
Okay, so they acted, you know, I'm not going to pry once the girl tells me, you know, that that's her cousin. Now,
you should have asked me. Why you didn't ask me?
Well, because I was dating the one that was in Norman, so she was like, well, that's your cousin. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go too deep into it, you know, and that was really it. So once she was like, oh, yeah, that's my cousin, I'm not really a sloppy guy like that. So I was like, well, that's not about to happen, you know, so that literally was the end of it. You know, I didn't really go back after that because what I'm going to do, because the next thing has happened, you know, all of a sudden now, you know, word gets back, oh, you're dating my cousin? Yeah, I'm not trying to go through all that. So that's actually what happened. It's not that I didn't come back. It's not that I didn't come back. I brought the girl that I was dating back to see her. That kind of confirmed that it was her cousin. What am I supposed to do after that? Continue trying to holler at her and I'm talking to her cousin? That's not going to look good.
Well, it's probably the best thing, you know, that we didn't get together then because he was doing the most probably in OU. I don't think it would have worked.
Yeah, because Reba was an angel at Oklahoma State. Yeah, she was such a sweet little angel. I was so shocked to even see her. I mean,
I know.
It was
wings,
right. She had a halo. It was amazing. I'm sure they had to force her to wear the dress that she was wearing at the Big 12 conference. Yeah, I'm sure they forced her to do that because she was such a sweet angel. Right? No, I'm just saying, you was an angel. You was an angel. Yeah, okay. Because I was doing the most. Yeah, she was an angel at Oklahoma State.
I'm just saying, you know, God works, you know,
everything happens for the best.
Everything happens for a reason.
And I agree with her that, yeah, at that time, it was not the right time. First of all, again, she was still in college. She was in Oklahoma State. I was in Norman, Oklahoma. That's still a good hour and a half to 2 hours away. So what were we going to do anyway? So that it just wasn't going to work. I was dating somebody, and I'm sure she was dating somebody too. Who knows?
Time, but anyway.
I know you weren't. So, sure you weren't. So, yeah, so that wasn't even the point, right? So anyway, so literally,
fast forward.
I always felt though, like, man, if I ever got another opportunity to meet her or to date Reba again, I was going to jump at that opportunity. So we're going to fast forward to about 2 years. You know, I went, you know, done with, I really wasn't done with college. I went to, you know, the NFL for a little bit. You know, things didn't pan out like they, you know, I hoped that they would. Came back. You know, kind of going, I went through a bad breakup, so I was within, and this is all within 2 years, right? Went through a bad breakup, you know, during this time. And, you know, it was funny. I was actually hanging out with one of my best friends. Shout out Ian. One of my best friends was at his house, and, you know, he had said, hey, you know, one of my friends are coming over. Her name is Reba. And, of course, boom, that triggered in my mind was just like, Reba, man, I know that. Hold on. Did she? And I asked him, I was like, did she go to Oklahoma State? He was like, oh, yeah. I was like, man, did she play basketball? And, of course, yeah, I'm like, yes, Lord. And you know what? To be honest with you, how many black people you know named Reba? So I was like, it had to be her. Like, there's not many girls that would be named Reba that are black. So I was like, okay, great. It's her. I was like, bro, you have to hook this up somehow. Like, you have to do this. He was like, oh, okay, cool. She's going to be coming down. I think it was like the next day or day after or something, because we had a mutual friend, and our mutual friend, their mutual friend had went back to whatever country she was from. So she went back, and Reba was coming just down just to hang out, with my friend. And I was like, bro, you got to hook this up. Like, you have to give me this opportunity. And he was like, okay. So, you want to continue? Or?
Yeah, so we actually met up at Walmart. And I remember, he was actually there with another chick. And should we say her name or no?
No.
We're not going to say her name.
So,
Or you can give her a fake name.
no, not going to give her a fake name because she's not going to be in the picture long. So, I'm not even going to give her a name.
So anyway, he was there. We met up in Walmart. It was me and Matt and him and the other chick. So I remember seeing him. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't quite remember where I had met him, but I was like, oh my God, he looked familiar. I just remember seeing he was so just tall and big.
Fellas, I remember.
I was just like, oh my gosh.
I saw her. I remember.
I was like, oh, he's so big. I was like, I'm big, he's big, we can get together. This is all going on in my head. I'm like, we can get together. I'm already thinking about babies. He don't know that, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, he's so fine. So, we're walking aisle by aisle in Walmart. We get to aisle 8, and he's like making these comments, what you laughing at, and I'm like, just kind of flirting back and forth with him. Anyways, we met back up at Matt's house, and Matt's grilling in the back, and he had some other friends back there. And I remember Howard, he was like, "Oh, I write poetry." So he had just went through a bad breakup, like he said, and he was like quoting all this poetry and all this, and I remember looking at him like, I would never hurt you.
Yeah.
I want to be your
Reba had game too. But,
and then, so I'm seeing the girl there, so I'm going to be detective, of course. So I'm like, so how long you and Howard been dating? We're just friends. He don't like for me to say that we're together. We're just friends. And I'm like,
no,
okay.
What she said was he doesn't like people to know that we're together, but we are together. But he says we're friends, but we're together. That's what she
I'm like,
says.
that don't make any. Okay, so y'all just homie lover friends. So he's available actually. So I was like, all right. So anyways, I had to go to work the next day, and I was like, all right, everybody, I need to leave. And I end up, I walked up outside, and I'm like in my head thinking, oh my God, please come outside. Please come outside. I just want to see you one more time. Please come outside. Him and Matt, did Matt come outside with you? No, he just came outside, and I'm like, yes. So I'm like walking to my car slowly, pulling out my keys, and he's like, Reba, come to the back of my truck. I gotta show you something. I'm like, okay. So I went back there, and he pops the trunk, and he's got this stereo there. He's like, oh, you want to buy my stereo? I'm like looking at him like, really?
Well, because she had said she was looking for a new stereo because her stereo was messed. But honestly, I was just trying to find some way to have some kind of conversation with her. Hell, she could have had the damn stereo. I didn't care.
So
I just wanted to talk to her.
I'm not going to pay for it. I'm like, you can give it to me for free just to see what he was saying. He kind of paused there for a second. I might think about it. I might give it to you for free. I don't know. I paid such and such money for it, but, I might give it to you for free. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So I was like, we just kind of stood there looking at each other, not really saying nothing. And I was like, well, I gotta go to work. And I just talked to you later.
She left.
Yeah.
Right? She left and she went back home. And so, I was still there with Matt, man. I was so appreciative. And I was like, bro, thank you so much. Like, I have been wanting to get in contact, speak with, see her for dang near 2 years, man. Thank you so much. Like, I was so happy. So, of course, I was actually there again with a friend that's a girl. We weren't dating, as she stated, and me being who I was at that time, very honest, like didn't want to be in a relationship with nobody. And this particular female, she knew that. Like, I did not want a relationship. And so, we were driving home, me and that other female, and the conversation just came about Reba. Actually, I brought the conversation up. I was like, so, how do you feel about Reba? She said, oh, she's nice, she's cool. I was like, yeah, kind of just like, yeah, driving. So I just said, I was like, so do you feel threatened by Reba at all? And she was like, no, why should I be? She was like, no. I was like, well, you should be. And I'm kind of shocked that I said it, but I was like, yeah, you probably should be, because I already knew that I was going to be with Reba. And yeah, she was going to trump anybody else that I was with or messing with or whatever at that time. So yeah, she trumped everybody. So I was like, yeah, you probably should be pretty concerned at the moment. And honestly, that was it. And then the next day, that's when, we started back talking, and
right, yeah, that goes to show when men know, they know. So, single life for me. I'm working on me. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to see nobody else. Love. What is that? Anyways, but I was thinking about him so much. Like, I could not get him out of my mind. Cannot. And that night, I'm laying in my bed. I'm still thinking about him. My phone rings. Hello? What you doing? How was your day? Who is this? Oh, you know who this is. I'm like, how did you get my number?
You know how I got her number. Matt, my guy.
Matt goes, give him the number. So, anyways, we're on the phone, and he was like, you don't remember me, do you? And I'm like, I remember you from somewhere, I just don't know where. He said, remember the Big 12 conference party? I'm like, oh, you didn't come back for my number. What happened? So then that's when he told me about, the girl said she's my cousin and I didn't want to be messy, so I didn't come back. So I was like, oh, okay. So we're sitting there talking.
We're on the phone for like hours.
Hours, yeah, before, this conversation, like we went all deep like this. So he was like, oh, so, what'd you say? I think that's when he was like, oh, I always wondered what it would be like if I just came back, or if we, like...
No, I was like, I always told myself if I ever had an opportunity to talk to you again or get your number, I would definitely do it this time. But what I didn't tell her, I was like, and also make you mine. I didn't tell her that part, but I just told her, I always thought about you. You was kind of like a distant memory sometimes, just riding around within the past. I didn't see her. She would just pop up in my mind, right? Like, just pop up like, hey, like my mind's like, hey, don't forget, and it's just, I would just always think about her. And like I said, if I ever had the opportunity to, talk to her, try to be with her, date her, that would definitely be happening, right? So I finally had that opportunity. So
we're still talking, and he was like, well, what did you think when you first met me again in Walmart? When you first seen me again, what did you think? And the first thing that came to my mind, and it was the God honest truth. I felt like I needed you.
Crickets.
I was like
completely silent on the phone. Completely silent on the phone.
I was like, oh my gosh. Like, did I just say that? Did I just say I needed him?
She got game. It was all game.
I was like, oh my God, he's not saying anything.
Fellas, if a woman said that to you, run.
I think I went too deep.
It was all game.
Too early. And he was like,
it was all game. She got me.
Woman to say that to me.
She got me.
He said, I always told the woman I wanted her to say that. Then she would say, but you just came out and just said, I think I needed you. I think I need you. And I still feel that way. He's my best friend.
Okay, let's move forward. Let's move forward. So yeah, and so that's kind of how that conversation went along, and of course we started talking, basically like almost, every day. And, we just, ever since then, we moved in together like real quick, like maybe after a few months, we moved in together.
And then we've been together.
Yeah, and we've been together ever since. We've been together for about 17 years, so
4 babies.
still going strong. Still love her. It's been such a blessing. So ever since then, 17 years later, here we are.
Right.
4 kids later, we're still rocking and rolling. So.
And it's still, actually, I'm not saying it just to say it, but it still feels good. Like, I still like him. I still love him, And it's, I don't know. I can't even explain it. But
are there ups and downs? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, what relationship?
Yeah,
absolutely. What relationship doesn't have ups and downs, right? But unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta, weather through the storm and just keep rocking and rolling. I mean, there was a point, when you guys first get together, there was a time when, that you wanted to be with that person, and you sometimes have to remember that part, right? You have to remember that special moment, or something that'll always draw you back to that person. And unfortunately, sometimes, it is too far gone that you guys can't rekindle. But, fortunately for us, we always have those moments where like, man, you know what? Yeah, this is like this. However, I still care and I still love this person. So we always get drawn back to each other. And again, like I said, 17 years, 4 kids later.
You have to pick your battles too.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm on the losing end of the battles, just because that adage, guys, it. Happy wife, happy life. So it is what it is. And it's okay, Like I said, I'll always love Reba. If anything, just for the simple fact that she blessed me with 4 beautiful children, and I'm always gonna love her for that. I don't care whatever happens. Like, she's always gonna have that special part of my heart just from that. Not even talking about all the other things that she's done for me. But again, is she perfect? No, she's not perfect. However, that's okay, because I dang sure know I'm not perfect. She's always gonna have that special part of my heart, just from that little bit giving me the children, and that's just a small part of our life, right? So, but again, just wanted to share, our first meeting with everyone, and there's gonna be, many more videos to come, many more discussions to come. We're try to probably have videos about, us moving in together for the first time. Also the first time that Reba actually spent the night.
What happened?
You know what happened that night.
Oh.
You know what happened.
You know what happened that night.
You know what happened that night. But yeah, so we're gonna have those videos, and again, just want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I stated earlier, please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, like always, please give any suggestions, any videos. If you guys have any questions for us, hey, how would we deal with this? Ask. Again, we're married. We've gone through some things, ups and downs, and we may even need some help, right? So, yeah, thank you guys again for subscribing. Welcome into our world, and we appreciate everyone, that's here, and we appreciate everyone that has viewed. You guys have a great one.
Bye.
Bedlam out.